Greetings everyone! Contrary to this story's title, we're not talking about college basketball in a Sonic comic. As you can see by the cover, we're tackling St. Patrick's Day. Yep, another holiday issue. The last one for this series, in fact. Besides the characters and settings, there is no connection to any events that were happening in the Sonic X anime or the earlier issues at the time. So let's jump right in. The story starts with Sonic and Cheese returning to Thorndike Manor after a morning run. Thanks to said run, Cheese is green, which makes sense given established Sonic lore. When raising a Chow, if you give it enough green animals and or green energy, its running traits increase. And while Sonic is not green, it's obvious Cheese has been absorbing his key trait all morning. Plus, we need an excuse for him to be green this issue. Speaking of green, Chris Thorndike enters the room with a green variant of his red shirt, which confuses Sonic. So Chris has to explain the concept of St. Patrick's Day. Namely, you're supposed to wear green or else you'll get pinched. Amy fully embraces this holiday by having a green headband and pinching Sonic for not having green on him. I guess green eyes don't count. Meanwhile, at his base, Eggman's watching the Station Square St. Patrick's Day parade in confusion, until his two robo-lackeys explain the holiday to him, focusing more on the leprechaun bit, that if you catch one, you can either get a wish, a pot of gold, or in some cases, a cereal with marshmallows in it. It's the gold portion that Eggman's interested in, and he's ready to hunt some leprechauns. He thinks he's found one, but it's actually his third minion, Bo-kun. Earlier, he was getting into the holiday spirit by painting the base green, but the wind knocked him into the paint can. Eggman, blinded by greed, fails to recognize a green-covered Bo-kun and wants to capture him. The little guy, though, flies away. Eggman's not bothered by it because he has another plan. We later see Sonic and company watching the parade, all of them wearing green in some fashion. Sonic and Tails have charms, Vanilla has a green top hat, and so on and so forth. With things looking good, trouble's soon to follow. And here we go. Bo-kun nabs Cheese, thinking he's a leprechaun, and wants a wish, specifically to not be green anymore. Sonic sorts out this mess quickly, and Bo-kun explains Eggman's gone a bit nuttier than normal. Cue the Doc arriving in a giant leprechaun robot, complete with shamrock badniks to hunt down leprechauns, putting Cheese and Bo-kun at risk. Amy takes care of the shamrocks going after Cheese, while Cream calms him down. Bo-kun blows up one of the leprechaun balloons, not only taking out the badniks chasing him, but blinding Eggman in the process. It's enough of a distraction for Sonic to take action. During the fight, it begins to storm. Yep, that old cliche. To be fair, it was hinted at earlier by Chris and Grandpa Chuck. The rain washes the paint off Bo-kun, who invokes his inner Kermit the Frog. Cheese also returns to normal during this event. Flying with Cream has fixed the type difference. Back over to the fight, realism enters the fray as Sonic slips on the wet robot and is captured. Eggman then tosses the busted balloon on Amy and Tails to prevent them from helping. Don't worry, Sonic, the sun and accompanying rainbow will help you. Chris tells Dr. Eggman that leprechauns live at the end of the rainbow. Eggman's goons confirm this, along with the fact rainbows last for a short time. With that, Eggman ditches his chance to destroy Sonic for a chance to nab that gold. Bo-kun likewise ditches the gang without so much as a thanks. Whatever. At a restaurant, everyone's enjoying some green sodas when Amy notices that Sonic lost his charm during the battle, meaning it's pinching time. Again, green eyes don't count, it seems. The issue ends with Eggman digging, in vain, for that pot of gold. I have to ask, those of you who watch Sonic X, I assume Sonic, Eggman, and the others are unfamiliar with Earth customs unless told by the natives, is that correct? If so, does it ever get to a point where the characters act foolish? I say this because Eggman's obsession with leprechauns and pots of gold blind him to the fact that, at first, he was chasing a green painted covered Bo-kun. Even his robo-minions try to point this out. That's probably the point of this, but I didn't find it entertaining. As for Bo-kun, if all it took was water to get rid of the paint, why didn't he go into a pool or a lake or even go through a car wash? There, problem solved. The action at the parade was alright. just a robot attack that's in keeping with the theme of St. Patrick's Day. That's part of the problem I have with this story. I'm not that fond of this March holiday compared to, say, Christmas and Valentine's Day. Now, if you like St. Patrick's Day and its traditions, that's fine. But me, I don't feel it anymore. That said, some things about this story stood out to me. First, as I said earlier, utilizing the chow raising mechanic in a small way. Yeah, it's an excuse to turn cheese green for a while, but I still like it. Second, it's Cream taking care of cheese during the attack. If you don't like it, you're monsters. Third is the way the comic pokes fun at Chris. As I said repeatedly, I barely watched the anime, but I am familiar with Chris's reputation due to various fan works. And finally, there's the colorist Josh Ray. If anyone hasn't heard of him, he's infamous in the Archie Sonic books for coloring background and or non-focus characters a single color, either gray or purple. In this issue, he embraces the St. Patrick's Day tradition and colors background people green on some pages. My score for the St. Patrick's Day issue is 4 out of 10, making this, to me, the weakest of the holiday issues, sorry to say. For comparison, the two-part Halloween story had some legitimately creepy moments, and it wasn't even set on Halloween to begin with. The Christmas one, despite my issue with the gullible people, had more enjoyable elements, and the Valentine's Day issue was clever and had heart. Pardon the pun. St. Patrick's Day, I've already said my piece. The good news is, as I mentioned at the start, there is no connection to the overall Sonic X arc barring characters and settings, so you can skip this entirely, or read it once and never read it again, or you can read it again and again if you find it entertaining. It's up to you, really. Anyway, I am out of here, and I'll see you next time. While part of me is relieved that there are no more Sonic X holiday issues, I am sorta curious what an Easter issue would have been like given we have two rabbits and a character called Eggman.